To place your faith in Jesus is not an event, it is a practice. It is a practice. Just like raising your kids. Should I step in here? Should I step back there? Should I let them bust their butt on this one so that they don't end up busting their whole head wide open on the next one? What do I do right here? Like, following Jesus is exactly the same way, because you will find yourself in moments of weakness and moments of strength, in moments of knowledge and in moments of ignorance, in moments of highs, moments of lows. You will find yourself every step of this journey like Jairus saying, in one area of my life, I'm a leader. In one area of my life, I'm the top man on the food chain. In one area of my life, I have the answers. I am Jairus, the synagogue leader. But on the day we meet Jairus, he is not standing at the front of the synagogue, issuing the sacraments for the people or checking the roll at the back of the room. He is a desperate dad at the feet of Jesus. Jesus, the teacher. That's what the men who came from his house said to him. He comes, he says, my daughter is dying. Will you come with me to my house and heal her? And Jesus is like, yeah, I'll go. Sure, because you came here and asked me. I love Jairus because he didn't just assume that it was all God's job. You understand? He didn't just assume that if God wants it to happen, it will just naturally happen. He didn't just assume that God is like an automatic faucet where you put your hands under it and wait. Some of y'all are going to be waiting a long time under a faucet that God has given you the faith to turn on by your actions. Because faith without works is dead. So he did something. He went to Jesus. He did something risky. He did something dangerous. He had to cut through a crowd to do it, and it worked until the interruption. Now I want to speak to you about the interruption. The interruption that you're going through in your life. The interruption that happened to you from the outside. The interruption that happened to you that kept you from your goal. Because we all had goals. And we all had dreams. And we all had things in between the idea and the dream. Call them roadblocks. Just call it a roadblock. In this particular instance, the crowd is pressing around Jesus so tight. One gospel writer, it's not in Mark, says that it almost crushed the crowd. It almost crushed the crowd. In Mark's gospel, Evan, the crowd is never seen as a good thing. Like when we go out to Elevation Nights, shameless plug number 2, I want the crowds to be big, man, so we can have church. When Mark mentions the crowd, a lot of times that's something that's standing in the way of what God really wants to do. So a lot of what we celebrate in life is a lot of what God tries to strip away to perform his agenda. Like, you know how you think it would be so cool to be famous? Most famous people wish they could be anonymous, even for 5 minutes. Trust me, I've talked to them. They talk about it. The thing that I went after actually proved to be a great distraction. And in this passage, there is a woman, and if God so leads, I'm going to preach about her on tour over the next 2 weeks, because she comes to Jesus through the crowd, gets a miracle for her situation, which has been going on for 12 years, as long as the little girl has been alive. And as she is being healed by touching the dirty hem of Jesus's garment in the Palestinian streets, Jairus' daughter is home, dying. And so her healing, from a human perspective, cost Jairus' daughter her life. And now this is the part of the teaching that I want to become flesh in your life, because this is where we find ourselves in moments of interruption, in moments of disruption, in moments where something that we couldn't control affected something that we were moving toward. And the people came from Jairus' house. While Jesus was still speaking. I know I've only dealt with one verse, but it's a good one, verse 35. While Jesus was still speaking, some people came from the house of Jairus, the leader who was at the feet of Jesus, the one with a lot of prestige in the community, who had a problem at home that all the prestige in the world couldn't buy him out of. Some stuff, it doesn't matter how much of that you have that people celebrate. Something could happen in your life right now that would make everything else seem worthless in comparison.
Stay right here on Faith Street, y'all. The box you asked for is coming. Everything on my vision board I get. I built on my house one time. My wife wanted a special kind of car. And I built the garage, the extra garage on the house. She came out there and saw them. She said, Steve, what are you doing? I said, I'm building an extra garage. She said, Steve, we got enough cars. What do you need with another garage? I said, don't worry about it. 2 years went by. I had been looking for this car. I went to dealerships. They said, sir, there are none in that color. I said, she want a white one. I said, so I went to the dealership. I said, I want you to get this car in for my wife. She said, sir, there are none in the country and none being made. I said, okay, but when the car come in, could you accept it into your dealership and call me when it get here? He said, sir, I done told you. I can pull it up on the computer. There are no cars in that color, that make or model. Do you want another color? I said, no, my wife wants white. She said, sir, we don't have that. I said, I've already built the garage. I've already built the garage. All my garages have chandeliers in them. I don't have doors that go over. All my cars have chandeliers hanging over them. And I have marble floors in my garage because I like stuff like that because I saw it one time. So I said, I've already built the garage. He said, sir, there are no cars like that anywhere in a computer base. I said, I just need for you when the car comes in. So a year went by. I said, any word on the car? He said, no, I've called the factory. They're not even making anymore in that color. I said, okay, I'm looking for this color right here. He said, sir, we don't have it. I said, I'm going to give it to her for her birthday, October 10th, 2016. He said, sir, that's impossible. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's just a car that I'm asking for in a particular color. How that's impossible? He said, sir, I can't find the car. I ain't asked you to. I asked you when it come through, would you accept it into your dealership and call me? That's all I asked you for. 2 weeks before my wife's birthday, I got a phone call. It was Perillo from Gold Coast in Chicago. He said, Steve Harvey. He said, are you sitting down? I said, no, I'm standing up. What's happening? He said, you're not going to believe this. A guy bought a car a year ago. It's been sitting in his garage. It has 8 miles on it. He bought it to me to turn in to me and ask him, how much would I give him for? I said, what is it? He said, it's the white car you've been looking for. I said, I'll be up there to get it. He said, this is unbelievable. I said, that God I serve, he's an unbelievable God. I don't listen to what nobody tell me. Once I write it down, I write the vision and make it plain, it will come. Surely it will come at an appointed time. It doesn't matter that nobody sees it. It doesn't matter that it's visible to other people. All you got to do is write it down and believe it. God is greatness, man, all day long. What he's done for me, he'll do the same thing for you. But you got to write the vision. Go home and read Habakkuk 2:2. Go home and read Bible verse Habakkuk 2:2. Read what it say. If you do that, it'll change your life. Appreciate it.